Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. Hope you guys are doing great today. Today's video is going to be on an Urban Decay eyeshadow palette, and I had been eyeing this palette since quite some time, and it's not a new release exactly, but it's kind of new, and I'm very excited to have it, and I'll share my thoughts on this palette. This is the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes collection. Yes, we'll talk about the packaging in a bit, but if you guys are interested in this palette and you want to see some looks and you want to see how the shadows look on my skin tone, then do continue watching this video. Okay guys, I love Urban Decay shadows, and most of the Urban Decay palettes which I have purchased so far I have loved, and I skipped a lot of palettes in between, and I was waiting for that one palette which I would like to buy. And when this palette launched, the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palette, I was instantly drawn towards it, but I kept telling myself I don't need it, I don't need it, I don't need it. But finally there was a sale on CultBeauty and they were having a 15% or 20% I think off on palettes, and that's when I decided, okay, I need this palette, I need to try this palette because it looks so gorgeous. So I did purchase it, and I must say that I am pretty pleased with my purchase. It's not one of the most unique, but it's kind of unique. Okay, so let's get started. This is how the packaging of this palette looks like. The packaging has just drawn me in. This is such a beautiful packaging. The gemstone pattern on the box, this is not raised or anything, just a pattern on it. This is the outer box obviously, and this is how the palette looks like. It's stunning. I didn't think that this will be so stunning in person. So this thing right here, the gemstone cut, it's actually raised, so I hope you can see it's actually raised, and it just catches the light so beautifully, and it just glistens and glows. I just love this packaging. It's not very sharp, you are not going to cut your finger or anything like that, and it's very sturdy packaging, acrylic packaging. This is how the back looks like, and here you have the shadows inside. These are all the shadows. There are 10 shadows in this palette. You also do get a brush inside the palette, which is a double-ended brush, and it's a pretty decent brush. There is a flat side which will help you pack the shadows, and there's a blending side, so you can use the brushes best with the matte shadows in the palette. And yeah, with the shimmers also you will be able to use with some effort, but I do like the brush. And this is how the palette looks like. I will definitely give you close-ups here. The packaging of this palette is so beautiful. The crystallized, pearlized kind of shadows, they just look stunning, and I almost didn't feel like using this palette, but I have been using this palette and I have used all the shades, and the pattern on the shadows, they haven't really been destroyed. I was thinking maybe once I start using this palette the pattern is going to go haywire, but that crystallized, pearlized finish is still on there. They have an interesting claim on this palette, so I'm reading from the box right here. A lineup of 12 all new highly reflective vegan shades infused with genuine tourmaline to block bad vibes and take your looks higher. So they have this interesting crystallized finish in the shadows. And yeah, sorry, I mentioned earlier that there are 10 shades in the palette. There are actually 12 shades in the palette. Yeah, I don't know, somehow when I look at this palette I always felt like it has 10 shades, but no, it has 12 shades. So before I tell you my thoughts on this palette, let me quickly show the swatches. I have also done the swatches on my eyes, so I'll show you that as well, and then you quickly come back and I will tell you what I think of the shadows. Okay, so here is a close-up of the palette. I will be swatching the matte shades first. So first of all, we have Good Karma, which is a light pale creamy color. Then we have Antidote, which is a peachy coral light shade. Then we have Hexed, which is a light reddish brown color. And then we have Third Eye, which is a plummy purpley shade. Most of the matte shades, they have a slight satiny feel to them, especially this one right here. This is more satin than matte. Then I'm going to swatch the 8 crystallized or the shimmering metallic finish shadows. First we have the shade Jade. It's a very reflective light green to medium green shifty sort of a color with a lot of silver, gold, sparkles infused. This is a very smooth texture. Next we have the shade Opal Aura, which is a light blue to icy color. It also has reflex of lilac and purple and a little bit of pink. It's a very interesting color on the eyes. It may look pale blue in the pan, but it has a lot of shift of blue, purple, pink, silver. Really smooth texture as well. Next we have a beautiful duochromatic sort of a color which has pink, gold, silver reflects, light pink to dark pink reflects, and it just looks stunning on the eyes. It almost has a multi-chrome feel to it. It also has slight shift of light green to light gold. It's just stunning. I love this shade Third Eye. Next we have the shade Vibes, which is also a very interesting shade. It has a lot of different kind of crystals infused. This also has shifts of blue, purple, pink, silver, and very pretty, lot of dimension. Very similar to the Opal Aura shade, but this color has more purple and pink than Opal Aura, but both the colors have a similar vibe. Next we have the shade Bloodstone, which is one of my favorite shades in the palette. You guys know how much I love these kind of shades which have that blue, green, oil slick shift. Love this, and it also has sparkles infused of gold and silver. It's just a stunning shade. Next we have the shade OJO, which is a deeper blue in the palette, but it also has shifts of silver sparkle, and this also looks really stunning on the eyes. Very reflective, and it also has some shifts of lavender as well. Very interesting. Next we have the shade Raw Energy, which looks like a purple lilac shade in the pan, but it is more pastel-y when you apply it on the eyes. It is more of a lilac-y, pastel-y, purple kind of a shade with some green, gold, glitter and shimmer sparkles infused. This is also a very interesting shade. It's quite deceiving actually. It looks something else in the pan, and when you apply it on the eyes, it looks something different. And the last shade in the pan is like a duochrome shade again. This one is more of a pinky purple duochrome, one of my favorite kind of duochromes. This one also has like a gold orange shift as well. It's not a very intense metallic duochrome, but there's a subtle variation to the shade, so it's really nice and wearable, and it looks really pretty on the eyes. Okay guys, so those are the swatches. I really hope that they were helpful. Now let's talk a little bit more about this palette. I just can't get over the packaging. It is so beautiful. Before I proceed, let me quickly tell you how much product you get. So in each pan you get 0.85 grams of product or 0.03 ounce. So you don't exactly get 1 gram of product also, but I think it's fine. As I always say, I am okay with mini pan sizes. If that's going to make the palette cost less, I'm okay with it. To be very honest, I didn't have too many expectations from this palette. I just wanted to get this palette to try it out and see what was this different texture all about. But I really like this palette, especially because I didn't pay too much. I paid 20% less, and maybe because of that I think it was totally worth the money, worth the buy. So I bought this palette from CultBeauty during their 15% or 20% off sale. So I've actually paid about 30 pounds for this palette, which is about roughly 50 to 52 Singapore dollars, and for that price I think it is a total worth the money. So if you are considering this palette, I would definitely recommend it on a sale. The original price of this palette on Sephora Singapore's website is 83 Singapore dollars. That makes it a very expensive palette, and I'm not too sure if $83 is what I would have liked to pay. Honestly, I wouldn't have, because all this while I was waiting for a sale, I just didn't want to pay $83 for this palette. But for $50, I do really love this palette. So let me tell you what I love about this palette, what I don't. So there are 12 shades in this palette. Out of the 12 shades, there are 4 mattes. All the mattes are excellent. I just love them. You get a nice highlight shade as well, which is very good for my brow bone. You get a light peachy shade, which is a good blending shade for both of these colors. So all the colors, all the matte shades work great on my skin tone. So, which reminds me, I have not highlighted my brow bone today with the shadow. So just highlighting. Love that this palette has a highlight color, and especially this is not an all-out matte highlight shade. It's slightly satiny matte kind of a highlight shade, and this is the kind of texture I love for highlighting. So that's great. Loving the mattes. Love that this palette opens up like this. It stays flat. It's very lightweight. Even though the packaging is super bulky, it's quite lightweight. It's easy to hold. Loving the mirror size in the palette. It's very huge, and you can just see your entire face at one go. About the metallic finish shades or the shimmer finish shades, these are special kind of shades which are glitter and sparkle infused. So if you don't like those kind of shadows, then you're not going to like this palette. I love those kind of shadows, and they have been done trying to emulate the Pat McGrath style of the shadows. Pat McGrath palettes have some special shades which have that very sheer metallic quality with a lot of glitter and sparkles infused. I think they have tried to emulate that kind of a formula in this palette, and I would say for 2 of the shades they have kind of achieved that as well. They are not as intense as Pat McGrath, but they are very good. They look great on the eyes. Major drawback with this palette is that it's glitter infused, sparkle infused shadows, so there will be some fallout. But if you use a nice glitter glue, as I have used the the Too Faced glitter glue, I use this with this palette, never had any issue with fallout. And even if you don't use a glitter glue, a nice primer, a sticky base would do, because I didn't find the fallout to be extremely out there. It's there, but it's not too much. So that part is great, but I would still say use a glitter glue. The shadows may look very chunky in the pan, but they are very smooth to the touch. They feel extremely smooth, and they apply really beautifully on the eyes. You don't have to make any effort to make them look smooth on the eyes. They're pretty easy to work with and blend. They're a little bit difficult to work with brushes, at least with the brushes which I have used. Even with this one, they're not very easy to pick up. So maybe try different kind of brushes if you want to. But I prefer to apply these with my fingers, and that's how I think they work the best. Just that I think if you layer these shadows too much, you may face texture issues. Like on this eye, I don't know if you will be able to tell, I have layered up the product a little bit too much, and this side of the eye, it looks a little bit more textured than this one. So I don't know, it could be a problem with my eye, or I don't know what. And I have seen it a couple of times. It doesn't happen all the time, so maybe there is a way in which I'm layering the product that sometimes this eye only appears a little bit more textured. So just take care how you're applying the shadow. Don't layer too much, I guess. So I think those are the few things you'll have to keep in mind while you're working with this palette. Other than that, I didn't face any issues. The colors are so beautiful. If you love sparkles, if you love glitters, you like glittery eyeshadows, you might really enjoy this palette. Urban Decay has done a good one. Yeah, I think I love all the shades. I especially love this row. This is a beautiful row of colors, and especially love this color. This is one of my favorite shades, which I'm wearing also today. So it is that green blue oil slick kind of a shade which is there in this palette. I love these kind of shades. And the tones of the matte shades are also very complementary to the shimmers or the metallic shades which are in the palette. And yeah, I think all of the shades worked great. I have used all the shades and they have worked great for me. Today I have used the shade Bloodstone, which I already mentioned, and in the inner corners I have the shade Vibes. You will be seeing a close-up of this look. I didn't film this look, but I have filmed 2 other looks which I will show you right now. I have used some of the other shades in the palette. So let's go ahead and see the 2 looks on 2 sides of the face and be right back. Okay guys, so those were the looks I created with this palette. I especially love that pink and purple look I had on, and I also really love this look which you can create with this palette. I will definitely do more looks. I will wear it in my videos, in my future videos. You can see some other looks as well, but honestly I do really like this palette, especially for the price I paid. I think it was totally worth the money. I got to try something new from Urban Decay. I haven't tried their sparkly glitter shimmer infused shadows. They have something called as the moon dust shadows, which I have never tried. So this was interesting, and being a shimmer and sparkle lover, I think this palette works for me great. So if you are someone who loves metallics and shimmers and you want to try this palette, especially if you have your eyes on this palette, I will definitely recommend it, especially since the Black Friday sale is also coming up, and this is, I think, a limited edition palette, so it will go up on sale pretty soon as well. So if you want to get it on sale, I will totally say go ahead and get it. Okay, so that's the video for today guys. I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions, then do let me know in the comment section below. If you liked this video, then please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're watching me for the first time, I really hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again really soon in my next video. Bye.